Hey guys, welcome back to ReKapt. This is now the July version. We are over the halfway point of the year. If you've never watched ReKapt, I like to just recap everything that happened in the last month. Some interesting stuff happened this month, and then some not interesting stuff happened, but we'll get to that. Anyway, let's go straight into our first topic. I think Nickisnotgreen is going to be the biggest part of this video. I was never a big fan of Nickisnotgreen. I remember when the drama happened and I just didn't really look into it. I'd consumed his content in the past, which meant that I had a little bit of interest, but there was never a headline which really was like, oh wow, I need to look more into this situation. I kind of just went, oh okay. And then he stopped uploading and I was like, oh okay. And then the other day I was like, oh, okay. And I watched it. The video in question was a kind of like summary of his time on the internet. And I've got to say, I really resonated with this honest, very open approach to kind of coming back from, I guess, is a controversy. I say I guess it was a controversy. It's definitely a controversy. I was just surprised by how big of a situation it was of something that for me didn't seem quite that big of a deal. Like, he lost hundreds of thousands of subscribers over this. It was a really big deal. Because of all the drama, Nick stepped away from YouTube and kind of focused on his own life. And this video was a really good way for him to open up about what his life looks like off the internet. I think it's really hard to explain the relationship you can have with YouTube when you start uploading to it. I used to use YouTube just as like a way to keep updated with certain things or just for white noise in the background. But after I started uploading, it became like a full-time job. Suddenly I care about things like subscribers, views, comments. I'm trying to think of like what's the next good video idea, things that I just didn't really see myself getting roped into. YouTube just doesn't really leave your brain, and I can only imagine what someone, you know, Nick's been doing this for like 5 years now. I can only imagine what he was thinking while taking a break. I've taken breaks myself. I took a big one last year, but it was under very different circumstances. I wasn't like, you know, happily thrown out like I'd done something wrong. I kind of just, you know, I just needed a little break. And when you get to the highs of, you know, I think he was at like 750,000 subs at one point. When you get that high and then suddenly everyone turns on you, I wonder how that makes you feel about yourself. He spoke about that largely in this video, and I think that's why I connected with it so much.
And mostly a lot of YouTube thumbnails with my face front and center. And as someone who had pretty much put all of his self-worth into his online presence the past 3 years, this pretty much broke me harder than anything that I had experienced in my life so far. It felt very humiliating, and it felt so public and inescapable to me because of how much I cared about the way people thought about me and my audience and YouTube. This whole thing was so all-consuming, and I literally never stopped worrying about it. This is really giving like feel bad for me, but it's, you know, it's part of the story.
There's a lot more of these kind of clips of him talking about like, I don't know, for example, people unsubscribing or his views going down, and how that just generally affected his entire mood. And again, this goes back to the point of once you start uploading to YouTube, if you really care about things like subscribers and views, it really does just take over your life. We talked about it like maybe 6 months ago now when Cody Ko came back. As much as I dislike everything that Cody Ko did, I understood wanting to come back to scratch that itch, wanting to do the thing you love most, and that's create content. It's really addictive, and things like numbers, whether that be the subscribers or views or even comments and stuff, they help feed that addiction. So yeah, I'm gonna play the clips, but it's very clear that Nick got fully invested in valuing himself based off, you know, the numbers, and when everyone turns on you, those numbers just won't be as good.
And I probably lost about 100,000 subscribers from fans of mine who did not respect me or care for me anymore.
And I tried doing this thing in December to kind of get me back up on my feet called Daily December, where I posted a video every day in December, and it very quickly ended because I was not doing well in my head. I was twisted in the head. And at the same time, my views were kind of taking a dip too, which made me feel like people weren't really interested in watching me anymore. I mean, only 100,000 views per video? What am I gonna do? This shit's embarrassing. I tried making some other classic commentary videos, and those really performed horribly. And suddenly, I went from worrying about, you know, 100,000 views to worrying about whether or not 30,000 people would watch what I wanted to make. Which, you know, sounds fine. Like 30,000 people still want to watch everything you do. That's great. But when your standard is so much bigger than that, anything under it feels like you're a complete failure.
There are projects I've put out that I've spent hundreds of hours on, and I really get emotionally invested in the idea that like this one will do well. And when it doesn't do as well as you think, it does take a little effect. It might make you a little upset for a day. It is what it is. It goes too far when you start thinking about it from this angle.
It wasn't, oh, 30,000 people want to watch what I'm putting out online. It's 90% of the people that watched me before do not care anymore. I felt like I was truly successful for the first time in my life. I felt like my parents could be really proud of the son that they raised. And I felt like my job was a way that I could support myself and even my family in the future. And very quickly, all of that went away. And the hardest part was that there was nobody else to put blame on besides myself.
Feeling like your parents should be proud of you because of the things you've achieved in the online space shouldn't come down completely to how many views you're averaging at that one point. I think that's just a really sad reality that people think like that. You're worth so much more than the fact that you got 100K views on a video about like Andrew Tate or something. Like that shouldn't be what defines your self-worth kind of a thing. But yeah, I want to move on from this because this is quite a depressing thing to focus on for too long. Just a really kind of raw video, which I appreciated from Nick. Again, I'm not a big fan of his. I'm probably not going to continue to watch too much more of his content, but I wish him the best, truthfully. It's not nice to hear that about anyone, that they would sink that low based off something which could kind of just be described as petty YouTube drama. I wish him nothing but the best.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
So yeah, so a couple got caught kissing at a Coldplay concert, but then they weren't a couple.
You know, hosting an award show is a tough game.
It really is.
Yeah, and so I'll ask you think he read that room correctly?
No.
Recently, Shane Gillis opened for the ESPYs of 2025, and this is one of the best stand-up sets I've seen in a very long time.
Four-time WNBA All-Star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody.
The joke I remember the most was the fake WNBA All-Star.
I'm joking around. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew WNBA players.
That was a good bit. That was a great bit.
That's crazy. You clap for that.
So The View had a very interesting take on Shane Gillis's set, and that was that it was bad.
You know, hosting an award show is a tough game.
It really is.
Yeah, and so I'll ask you think he read that room correctly?
No. No.
He did.
Basically, when you do an awards show, they're there to hear their name called. They are not there to laugh.
They picked apart things like the fact that he sounded nervous, and I mean, yeah.
Hello.
I kind of thought that was funny.
But one thing he did that I didn't like, and that was he said, I didn't write that joke.
Yeah.
Never do that. Johnny Carson was on the air for, I don't know, 100 years. Never once did he say the writer wrote that bad joke that I just bombed with.
You know, I'm not the comedy police, man, but that was clearly a part of the joke. Shane did constantly say, oh, I don't know who wrote that or why did they leave that in. That was a part of the joke.
You don't have to do that. It was fine. I didn't write it. We'll see about this one. They let me do it. I don't. This is Disney. They allowed that.
Shane hit back at them saying, you know, these are clearly like the best judges of comedy.
John Hamm watching The View so that I could understand comedy the way Joy Behar does. You know, hilarious comedian Joy Behar? What was that one joke she told that everyone likes? Never once, ever?
Oh my God, what the fuck?
That was not me.
Yes, it was.
Check the cameras. That was not me.
I need you to get out now.
Wait, I'm telling you, that was not me.
You need to get out now.
You
Now.
I told you that was not me.
I'm sorry. I'm just very, very irritated.
This is a really unexpected story, but the guy that used to do those like backup screamer challenges is maybe going to prison for 9 years. His name's Heston James. I've spoke about him in the past. I genuinely really enjoyed his content, even if it was very juvenile.
Where are you at? Doing what? Hey, I'm fucking pissed.
But I can sit there and just laugh kind of, you know, to myself and be like, you know what, it's funny. If nothing else, it makes me laugh. He went down this path where he would go to like Target with like 50 of his mates and they'd all be wearing Target employee uniforms and try and like do these employee takeovers.
Go ahead and bring in the guys. What is going on? No,
you guys need to leave.
You guys are not going to come back here. Workers. These are my workers. No, these are my workers. Need everyone cleaning? Doing a great job, sir. Hey, nice. Good job mopping that. get this ironed out. Check your HR emails. We were going into a different one. They didn't need us there. They sent us here. You guys are good to go. What do you mean we're good to go? Go ahead and bring the guys in.
Come on, get out of the store.
See if I was on the phone or not. Here. You guys can get to work. We're all good. Everyone get to work. If you guys want to go ahead and take over the lanes,
Get out. You guys do not work here. You guys are good to get out.
You're literally cleaning this right now. What are we talking about?
I don't think I'm going to be able to find any of the videos because he's going to have to take them down for a lawsuit. But basically, he's being sued by these major companies because of the amount of distress it caused for them. There's a genuine chance that Heston James may go to prison longer than... I'm not going to say his name, but he's a bit blurred on the screen. Just a really weird situation. I kind of forgot about Heston James, and I guess this is why he probably had to stop uploading for legal reasons. But, yeah, man. The last two stories I want to talk about will be very brief. This is going to be a very brief video, to be honest. One, Rihanna is Smurfette, in case you didn't know that. And two, Happy Gilmore 2 just came out. I haven't been able to watch it yet. I've been kind of swamped with things to do, but I'm a really big fan of Adam Sandler. I've spoken about that many times, and I'm a big fan of him coming back to his old work. I'd love a Click 2. I'd love a Grown Ups 3. The Divorce Ceremony Singer. There's great sequels to be had here. I know this is going to be a very brief, very short video. I don't know. I kind of just want to be able to make more relaxed, easy talking content. Let me know what you guys think of it. I know it's not going to be as heavily edited. Not that my stuff ever really is, but I don't know. I've been thinking about doing streaming eventually and kind of just being able to talk for hours at a time and not having to like worry about what the end product will look like as much. I haven't been active as much on YouTube, I know that. Anyway, if you guys want to stick around for that, that would mean a lot to me. You guys could please like, comment, subscribe. Even if you don't know what to comment, man, just comment a couple letters. I'm not going to judge you. I'd really appreciate it.